Okay. I'm going to take you over onto the stream now.
Alright,
Okay,
go ahead.
Yep.
Alright, hey guys, my name is DaFatman, and today I'll be running solo co-op. You may have seen this category already in the last SGDQ, if I recall correctly. It's a very interesting category, and yeah, so basically there's just a little bit of setup that I need to do beforehand. The SV cheats, the reason being for this is because for SV cheats you need that to be able to switch players, and that's through a bind that I have already set. And the only other thing I need to do is load SS map. Just load the first map and we can begin. I'll tell you when the time starts. Actually, before we begin, I'm gonna record a demo just because we can. This is how you normally time runs. I'll just call it PSA Marathon. Alright, so I'm gonna stop the video in 3, 2, 1, go. Another run starts. So as you can see, there are two screens present. This is the blue screen which I'm currently playing, and this is the orange screen. This is basically how split game works in this game. So the first thing to note is that normally in this game, what you use to actually finish parts like that is to gesture. However, instead we do something called taunting, and basically all that is if you jump and do this, it'll do an input, which is a lot faster than doing something like this. And yeah. And after this short cutscene, the actual game will begin, starting with calibration. It's a really simple area. Just first skip this part by bunny hopping over the gap, as you would in most Source games. I almost soft locked there. Do not worry about it. So this category, in a lot of ways, runs similar to normal co-op, in that you just complete the maps, but you can only go one at a time. However, there are a few places where that doesn't work, and there's a few places where the speed strat in normal co-op is not faster. There's only one case of that in this map, and that kind of starts about here. Normally, you just complete this the absolute normal way. However, we do this slightly differently, so as I place this here, you may notice I'm just going through without him, while orange is still holding onto the thing. What we do here is do something called the cube preserve, where if you just hold crouch, look down, it just holds the cube through a fizzler. It won't fizzle. And we just use that to keep the cube with us to finish the map. This is another instance of the taunt. This one's kind of harder because I messed up. It's kind of harder because you need to switch as you do it, or else that happens, which I clearly messed up in doing. It's not a big deal. Only loses like 3 or 4 seconds. And this only happens a few times in a run. So this is the lobby. We're just gonna not talk here. This is where the donations will be read, if we have any, for the record. At Restreamers, just because nothing usually happens here. It's not that important. But otherwise, you may have noticed that like all the maps are unlocked already. You can technically lock all the maps before you start, and I'm actually not entirely sure why we don't. However, we just don't. It's not a big deal. We just play through them as if it wasn't, and just lose that bit of time. So this first map is exactly the same as it is in single player. It's only just like very slightly different than the normal co-op solution. but only slightly. In that you don't use the middle portal, you just go to the end. But I feel like a normal player would be able to figure that out. Propaganda has missed the first 2 minutes. Please donate to pay respects. This first part's also very similar between. However, this is where it gets slightly different in the second room here. Because normally the way you do this part is that you have the 2 players doing 2 actions, but you can't really do that fast. So instead what we do is we have 1 player activate all 4 buttons in the time allotted. Like so. Not that hard if you get used to it. It's a pretty nice part of the run. And then you just bring this guy over who did absolutely nothing in the chamber. Thank you for the luck. Good to go. How do I play as both? Basically, there's a simple command. It's not really that simple. It's just called increment var or something like that. I can't remember the exact command because it's kind of complicated. But either way, you can use that to switch players, and that's how we're doing this. On a technicality, you are able to keep an input locked as you switch players. Like, I could, when I'm switch players, just keep holding W, and when that happens, I just kind of just walking forward while the other player's doing the rest of the inputs. I changed my bind so that doesn't happen. However, technically you could, and that would save time. Just no one has actually done that, kind of because it's a little bit stupid. Kind of defeats the purpose of this category. Not that it actually matters that much. Alright. Did I not get it? Oh, unfortunate. If you jump there with orange, you can skip this cutscene. I've messed up most of the taunts this game. This has actually been kind of unfortunate. This is very much the same as co-op. I'm gonna keep referencing normal co-op just because it's a really easy reference point to see when maps like are actually like cool. Although this map is kinda interesting in that you do this. Because the game sucks, it thinks that there's still a laser going into this, which is kinda dumb. I can also do this. Pretty dumb. I think I lost a very small amount of time because of dialogues, but that doesn't matter. And, alright, this is one of the last maps of the map, and this is an interesting one because you just, I thought I missed that if I'm completely honest. You just B-hop through the chamber. It's a pretty simple map if you're a dirty cheater. I mean, what? Also, I moved Blue out of the way from the door. You may have noticed that he's much farther from the door than he would have been. The reason being is that there's a much longer dialogue if you just go straight for the door. I don't know why there's a longer dialogue, but there just is, and going away from the door helps to prevent that from happening. And this is the actual last map of the chamber. This is the first behind the scenes where you put a disc into a thing. The thing about this one is that you can complete most of it solo, and by most of it I meant all of it. Like, I didn't move orange at all. There's another one like this, which we'll be seeing in the near future for chapter 3. This is the shortest of all the chapters. All the other chapters will be relatively longer. That is course 1 done, I am plus 12 over my PB, which is okay. Now, we're back into the lobby. There's not much to say here. Except I messed up the portal placements. It's usually quite a meme to mess up the lobbies. Although usually that's just in death, not in misplaced portals. Is it cheating to play with your feet on solo co-op? I would say no, mostly because no one can do that. Right, this map is pretty straightforward. You just jump to the end. It's a very simple jump. It's kind of an odd oversight, if I'm completely honest. And for this, all we do is... Well, I messed up that one, but... There's something called a reportal, and since there hasn't been a portal game in this one yet, I'll just talk about that. So basically, the reportal is just... Basically, when you go through a portal and shoot the portal that you're going through as you go through it, what that'll do is that'll give you a nice boost out of the portal, which allows you to jump longer gaps without as much speed to start. It's a very useful glitch, and you'll see it a few times in the speedrun. Talking very odd nuances in the chat for this category. I must say, I messed up the order. Apologies. I actually don't know what I just did. Mild mess up. Let's hope this works. Perfect. And that map's exactly the same as it is in normal co-op. I'm not even sure if you could actually do that. I don't know about how the commands and the local co-op actually works. I would assume that you can't actually do this. This map's kind of interesting. Pretty much what we do is we just press the button from underneath, which skips quite a significant part of this puzzle from doing that. You may also notice, You may also notice that once I'm up here, I'm actually gonna kill orange. That actually gives me a better dialogue, because the death dialogue is relatively short, as you can see. I think the normal dialogue is like 3 times as long, so I'd still be waiting here, which is why it's faster. Are you good at speedrunning? I am not joking. That's the trick question here. This map's pretty basic. That was weird. Don't worry about that. That happens sometimes. Because the co-op physics are kind of weird in comparison to the multiplayer physics. It's actually very weird, the difference between solo co-op and co-op, because some things are different from co-op. Some of them follow the SS rules of physics, or the single player physics, and others follow the multiplayer physics, which I'm not sure why. It kind of does. Like that part, that was strictly multiplayer. However, the B-hop here is pretty much single player, just because there's no latency. There's an interesting thing that happened there. I shot the portal from the boost, which is obviously quite faster. I did not know what I just said. Apologies. Last room, you just strafe to the end. I grabbed this cube, so I don't need to taunt with them. And that means I can move this guy immediately. which I taunt with the other guy. Pretty simple mechanism. Coming up, there's gonna be a lot of dumb shit that I'm gonna have to explain. I don't know if you heard. Apologies. So first of all, the first thing that's happening here is I put myself in front of this faith plate in order to grab the cube through the thing here. Then I do a little kind of semi-precise shot to get over here quicker. And then I do this, and just don't question me. Just don't question it. I'm also keeping the cube here because once one of the players is through, that door will never close. And that allows me to take the cube with me. And I use that glitch, and that skips this entire map, because if you've played this casually, you know this map's kind of dumb. You need to time yourself moving with a cube being launched. And that was kind of clean. I kind of expected to mess up there a little bit, which I kind of did with the shot on the grate, but it wasn't too bad. It could have gone a lot worse, and it normally does go a lot worse. Which makes me kind of happy. This map's exceptionally dumb. I almost forgot about this. So first of all, if you double tap a button here, it counts as pressing both, which is kind of dumb. I thought I was going to clutch that. Apologies. Second, we just do a reportal here, and that skips this puzzle. And the last part is probably the worst victim of bad coding I've seen in a Valve game. There's a hidden button right here. I don't know where this oversight got passed through, but it did. Apparently no one saw that that was there. And I don't know. Anyone wants to @Valve for me, feel free. And now we're on the last map of this course. This map you do need both, but like they're two completely distinct roles. So first of all, you grab a cube through this thing, which is pretty dumb. And then to bypass this part, normally you have to have two people in here to actually complete this part of the map, because double lever, but you can I get it? Yes! I haven't done that in a while. That's actually so satisfying. You can press both if you're smart enough with your mouse movements. And that skips a considerable part of the level. I'm really happy I did that with the momentum, because sometimes it gets a little bit harder if I don't have the momentum, because the timing's a bit more precise. But, yeah. And that is that done. Chapter 2. If there's donations, feel free to read them, although I'm not sure if there will be.
We don't have any right now.
Alright.
If we do, I'll let you know.
Alright. I mainly just said that because there really isn't much to talk about in the lobbies. Because it's just the same thing over and over again. At least the same mechanic. This map is quite a basic one. I'm actually going to move this higher for the sake of not messing up. Move it lower for the sake of not messing up. There you go. Just do a bunny hop to place the portal there, and that allows you to just do this without the need of the partner. Again, although you do need the partner to get through the map, obviously. Then here, instead of using the bridges, we just strafe over to things. So first of all, we strafe to that button, and then we strafe over to the receptacle. That was an accidental boost, don't worry about that. And again, one player was completely useless during it, and he just needs to be carried to the end. That's probably my favorite dynamic about this, the use of one player to finish a whole map that's meant for two. Very interesting to see and look into. Oh, am I dropping frames? I'm sorry. Or is that not the... Or is that the restreamer, not me? I don't know.
Oh, but it's fine. Don't worry about it.
Alright. So for that, again, cheated. You already saw what happened. I don't think I need to explain how that was cheating. Just place the portal really high. Who needs friends when you have solo co-op? You only have friends if you need them. I don't need them. Okay? I trust myself more than I do other people. Oh, I thought that messed up. So here, this is, again, fairly simple, as a lot of them are. It's gonna get really messy at a point. Just don't worry about it. Basically, just shoot a portal underneath this with a little bit of a jump. This is actually kind of messy. So we actually skip the entire map by using this bridge to strafe over to the end platform. It's kind of dumb. Sometimes it messes up catastrophically and you can lose like a minute if you don't know what you're doing. Notice the trend of me calling it lucky that I make tricks. Keep note of that when I mess up. Oh. This map is very straightforward. Just follow the arrows. You heard the woman.
I'm sorry. The arrows seem to have rusted off.
And this is exactly intended. You don't need two people for this first part. Normally you would for the second part, however, in our case, we just do what we've done before, bunny hop to the end. And this time we actually have Orange get carried by Blue, as he has to do less work. Yeah, this is where it's going to start to get messy, I think. This map, the next map, the following map, they're all kind of messy. So first of all, this is the first and only out of bounds that you will see in the speedrun, and it's only for a second. So pay attention. You just bump a portal out of bounds and then jump up here. And then we skillfully catch ourselves with this bridge and just finish the map. And this is yet another case of finishing the map by yourself for the second part of this chamber. You just come over here, shoot this portal from the other side of the Fizzler, which is another pretty dumb overpass. Bunny hop, and we're done. Although the only difference is that this guy has to go first, or else the portal will fizzle, and Orange will have to do the puzzle again, which isn't fast, as you would imagine. And this dialogue's kind of long, if I recall correctly, so I'm just gonna... What is that name? Is that just not picking up right on Chatty? Or is it just not look right? Alright, so this first part's pretty simple. This is the first map with turrets, which means that there's actual danger for me at this moment. So I need to use both players to get bridges to keep me safe. Then I just go... Oh, I almost died. It's pretty much RNG with how I shoot the portals, whether I die or not. And then this part, I'm probably gonna die, because I need to come over here, press the button, and then grab the safety bridge, which I did successfully. This is gonna hurt, though. Yeah, I don't know why I keep doing that. Otherwise, we can just finish like this. So one of us needs to kill both portals. In that entire state, I was in danger of dying. Pretty sure I got near death twice there. I'm honestly surprised I didn't die. Oh yeah, anyone who subbed to MSushi, put MSushiWs in the chat. This is absolutely urgent. There's no reason, just do it. Wrong player. Sorry. This is also risky. Ah! Okay. And you may see our first mess up of the marathon. Need to do those inputs kind of weird. If you don't do it like fast, you're not going to do it at all. So I understand why that messed up, but still, it's kind of disappointing. And then here, it's a lot less risky. You just jump to the end like this, both players. And then something interesting here, if I stand like right here, neither of the turrets can shoot me. So they can stay alive. In the intended route, you'd kill them, but you're able to stay alive if you just not be a pansy, you know?
Congratulations on completing the broken.
And yeah, this map is interesting. The map coming up. This is a very long map. It's kind of long, and it's going to be done entirely solo. It's my personal favorite map to solo. Not because it's like necessarily easy. It's just it's nice. It's elegant. I like what's done. Pretty interesting. So just use blue for the entire time. Start by hopping over to the first room. This is a dumb physics oversight. You can actually... I messed up. Ignore me. It's similar to the thing where you crouch and look down to keep something alive, except you go up. Pretty similar. Interesting. Then the next thing we have to do is the ball cut, where if you time that just right, you stop the ball's momentum and it goes down. It's a very interesting technique. You may have noticed I cut myself off there. Don't worry about it. As you can tell, I'm not the most seasoned at this, but it is okay. That last B-hop is actually kind of difficult. I've been messing it up a lot recently, but as you can see, it wasn't too bad for me. And that is the map done. And I would assume that there's not a donation. Maybe there is, I don't know. But this would also be a good time. Seems like the stream's kind of unfortunate. I wish I could see it. I could probably pull it up on my phone to see what's going on. I'm pretty sure it's not in my end. Actually, no, I've already been confirmed it's not. Never mind. Let me actually see. I forgot that I would need to explain this at some point. So, here's an interesting glitch. So I stand still, I crouch. Now you may have noticed earlier that I turned SV Cheats 1 on. I swear this isn't no clip. Promise. Y'all trust me, right? It actually isn't. Don't worry about it. Another oversight of Valve. These games are very well productive. Alright. I don't think there's much to say about this map. I made a severe error. Unfortunate. Don't fret though, I can easily recover. I was supposed to catch myself with that, and it didn't work out, because obviously I didn't catch myself, but if it did, what that would have basically done is that would have let me go through while also... Basically, the reason I caught myself twice with the funnel, the first time was to get me moving towards the button as soon as possible, and the second time was so that I could actually have someone standing on the button. I know I said producted. Don't worry about it. I'm also not a linguist. There's a lot of things I am not. But that's okay. Because we're all flawed. Oh my god, okay. There is actually a quite nasty skip that you could do here, and I probably would be able to do it, but I decided not to just because it's kind of annoying. But it looked really nice. Basically, from that portal surface where I was funneling from to the end, you launch all the way through some dumb stuff I don't fully understand. But yeah. We're gonna do more funnel fly here. As you can tell, that is the term for this, for the record. The flying bug. I don't know why that didn't work, to be fair. That's not too big of a deal. You can just do it again. You can I didn't do it, alright. I tried to double taunt there. I switched quickly to make both of them taunt, which would technically save a second. That's the hardest one, I think, out of all of them to do. So I usually don't get it, so it's fine. Yeah, really unfortunate about the stream issues right now. Okay, I forgot about this. I'm gonna give myself one attempt to do these jumps per character. Alright, that's him messed up. Alright, I got it with one. You know what? Just because of that, and the fact that I've been making it pretty well, there you go.
A quick donation, if you have time. Sorry, I thought you went to the hub.
The next map's kind of simple, so I think it's fine.
It's a quick one.
Yeah, okay.
From Myra JR, $5 says, "Here is a donation, Kappa." Thank you for the donation.
Thank you. I probably didn't have much to say about this map, to be fair. Kind of just... It's literally just funnel fly. I would like to explain what just happened there, just because I'm going to be running the game that's causing the confusion, like, immediately after this. So there's a trick in another game that I speedrun called the Fluffy Fly. And the last time that I ran Portal at a marathon, I think it was a Mel race. Last time I did that, I just kept calling it Fluffy Fly every single time, just because of the name in the other speedrun. So if you detect that at all, don't worry about it. I have explained to myself now, all future mess-ups are against my control. Clearly. Right, so this map's easy to mess up. So pretty much I just jump to that button to save a little bit of time. Otherwise you just do it with funnels. I don't know why I got lost there for a second. Then we'll try this bunny hop. I'll try it once. Alright, perfect. To jump over to the funnel. If you can't, if I failed that, I would have just used the faith plates, and it would have taken me to the funnel anyway. That's just faster. That's a good thing to do. Also, just a fun note, just while I'm doing this, I am currently over a minute ahead of my PB before I got accepted into the marathon, which means I guess this is a pretty good pace. I do have the potential to PB with this run, which is kind of nice. But that's besides the point. Everyone knows the real goal is marathon % world record, obviously. So in this map, there's a seam shot here, and we just shoot the portal through the thing, and that allows us to get the cube right away, like so. And then you just launch both players, and you're done with the map. Real simple, basic thing, except the trick is actually kind of difficult if you don't know what you're doing. You may have noticed that I pinged while doing that. That's just a really easy way to set it up. Not a lot of people I've seen actually do it, but with pinging allows you to know when you're... basically allows you to know if you're too far to the left or too far to the right. And if you just look at when it's not, when it goes actually through, if you look down enough, you'll get it every time. This map is not a solo, but it's the last map of the 4th chapter. That guy just went through this. It kind of messed up my system there for a second. I just jaded my own thoughts. So here what we do is that the right portal? Yeah, it is. Get over here. Place portal there, and the reason for that, so we can grab a funnel and go to the end. There's a whole long section of stuff to do in this map, and shooting the portal there so that I can do that makes this so much faster. Also, I messed up table strats, which means this run's basically dead. You might as well cut the stream now. That's a crucial stream. But I gotta go fast here because there's a cube here I want to see. I didn't see it. Unfortunate. Hey. This is not cheating, I swear. It is A-okay. Alright, so now we're going out of aperture, I guess, as it would be called. I'm not sure if... I don't remember the actual term for this. But basically we're going to old aperture, the ancient days. This is where Cave Johnson would be if we were in single player. Unfortunately, he doesn't exist in co-op. May he rest in peace. This map is pretty simple. This is where we get introduced to Gel, which produces some of the hardest maps, if I'm completely honest. Kind of just because there's a lot of dumb stuff to be aware of in this section. This map, it basically runs very similar to how it does in co-op. I missed. Okay. That was really slow B-hop. Do not worry it. We're out of new aperture into old aperture. There you go. This is the old boy stuff here. This is a dumb oversight. This is a fun one. I did not do that right. You can shoot a portal through this flooring. Don't ask me why. You just can. And then you can just circle jump over to the end, which is not too terribly difficult. It's a very annoying thing for people who are new at this game. However, over time, it gets pretty basic enough to do in runs. Next two maps, I am very likely to mess up. And by very likely, I mean I'm gonna. Do not fret about that one. I need to justify myself, obviously, in case you can't tell. So first thing here, you jump all the way down here and shoot into the next chamber, like so, and then just have the other player shoot the portals just so you can keep it and you can die. And then this is also simple. You just jump out of the portal onto the end like this, skipping all the gel and all the real elements of the puzzle. It's quite a dumb map, if I'm completely honest. But it's pretty interesting. Now for this is the map where I'm gonna mess up for the record. This part's easy. You just strafe over to this light and hop to the finish. Not too bad. It's the next part that I'm gonna mess up. So basically, I'm gonna give this one try per character, I think, as with the co-polarity jump. Basically, I can strafe around here, and if I get it right, yeah, like that, hop to the end like this. If I don't get this now, I'll show you guys the scene shot that's here. Never mind, I got it. Sorry, you missed out on the strat. Someone should have told me to choke, because I forgot to. Sorry. Unfortunate. Completely honest. Wait, why can't I? Oh yeah, I can't taunt in elevators, I forgot. It's kind of weird, because I'm never really actually try taunting in elevators. Also, I shouldn't be on orange to start. This is a mistake every time. It is not by intent, but this is a weird map because I had to time that with only one player activated at a time. Although it's not too terrible. You may notice here that I shoot back into the chamber after I'm done with it. You'll see why in a minute. I always do that. I always forget where I am with blue by the time I finish orange. That's a classic mistake right there. If I'm completely honest, that's a classic. I think every speedrunner makes that mistake at some point. It's actually absurd. So now you can get to see why. Grab the cube from the start. Yep, I choked. I am a failure to the stream. I am sorry. I got lost again. Oh man, I'm falling apart, and this run was almost decent. Unfortunate. It don't lose too much time because there's dialogue, but still. I was on orange. Did I switch? Alright, I switched now. So this map's interesting. So, to skip this chamber, what we basically do is we use this gel. Instead of actually shooting portals with it, we just launch with it, and we kill both sides with the cube at once. And then we just go with the other character once we've finished the map. I don't know what it is with this map, but I always press escape after I've done the fling. Maybe it's because of the heat of moment, because I'm flinging while I'm doing it, but that's a mistake. That's not by intent. I switched to blue last second. Thank God it's... Alright. Alright, so for this map, get some gel. In solo co-op, you can actually